Peach to deal with, but that Game & Watch up special means that your defensive play is just absolutely on point. You still have Bucket as a reflector too, so while turnips can be scary, off stage they're not nearly the threat they are against some of the rest of the cast.
Yeah, Game & Watch having that bucket, you can't like absorb it, it's not an energy projectile, but having a reflector you can use in the air that also stalls your movement is going to be huge for trying to get back versus these turnips. And we're getting right into it, and we're back on PS2.
And honestly, I like this as a game one, not just because I think both these teams like space and the biplats, which they do, but just as a place to scout out your opponent, right? Take it a little bit slower if you want to, make something happen. But also I think that Wrath and MuteAce do have a little bit of an advantage here because Game & Watch doesn't have a way to close that space that Sonic can hold from such a distance.
Yeah, and however, both Sonic and Peach with great ways to like stall above Game & Watch, great ways to keep from having to fall at a predictable timing, and I think that's going to be massive here against the two characters who love to juggle.
Great way out of the spin dash there from Ploopy, though, and he's able to have immaculate positioning under this platform. These two Game & Watch players looking for that ISO situation right now, saying, hey, we think we got you in the 1v1s, so we're just going to force this situation and say, beat us by yourselves. You don't get the support, you don't get the help, and going to call out the landing, take the first stock. The strategy is working out very well for them so far.
Yeah, wow, actually bouncing off the first bomb and not getting hit by it, but the second bomb explodes just in time to take out Peach's stock.
Yeah, and when, in that situation too, right, you getting that first stock on Sonic means that you get to have the 2v1 ledge trap scenario, which just covers every option. Ploopy going for that 9 to just try and steal away a little bit of an advantage. Instead, it's not going to work out in his favor, and Wrath's going to take the stock as a punish of his own. So it's going to be Monte holding onto the slightest of leads, having to get back against MuteAce to cement this one in their favor, because only 34% extra credit apiece just isn't really a lead if that stock goes away.
Definitely. We got to see the double ledge trap situation. Do you think double Game & Watch might be the scariest double ledge trap you can think of?
For a double, like a duo character?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's up there for sure. I mean, I think double Snake, double Samus are pretty dang scary, right? But for sure, Game & Watch is one of them.
Though their coverage is insane, and not only is their coverage insane, they kill you at 60 if they get that grounded down smash. So many options get covered, and I wouldn't want to face it.
No, I mean, it's certainly something that's going to give me nightmares after watching this bracket for sure, and the hammer as well. But unfortunately, the only thing that down smash was going to take was a teammate. Monte losing his first stock, and now just trying to find one more on MuteAce and Wrath and turn Ploopy almost at his last stock as well. So that's going to be the story here for Wrath and MuteAce. Can they find it on Ploopy? Yes, they can. Now the game is firmly in their favor. Wrath, even at that kill percent, right? Playing Sonic, so easy to avoid getting hit by those strong hits from Game & Watch. Only very certain one's going to find the stock unless you miss your techs.
Yeah, you got to hit those, but it's so hard. The Game & Watch move is so quick, and there's like almost no hit stop when the move is hitting you. So you have to be on point with your reactions, and it's even harder with the camera swinging around like it does in doubles.
Yeah, I mean, right, platform fighters' cameras are sometimes your greatest friend and sometimes your worst enemy. They're the teammate 8 smash attack combo. You can do it on your own, but it's a lot better with a friend, right, taking the stock from MuteAce and forcing this last stock scenario. But once again, it's Monte, ever the defender, ever the long liver here with 2 stocks, and I think every game Ploopy and Monte have won, it's been because Monte has been an expert at stock tanking and just compounded that advantage over time.
That's definitely true. Not totally outside the realm of possibility here, but it just got a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic, right, does have that good matchup against Game & Watch, as you mentioned, but you got to deal with the 2v1, and that is just absolutely brutal. Your spacing, your timing has to be immaculate to find these punishes, but you have the space to get these whiff punishes. It's just about how disciplined can Wrath play and how well can he use this ledge and vulnerability to his benefit. That's a start.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not as hopeless as it looks because both Game & Watches are 1 hit away from death, and then you just have a favorable 1v1, and one I know Wrath is well-versed in. So it's not over, but it's tough.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see that stock get taken there with Monte at such a high percent. It expresses a lot of confidence in Ploopy as a player, because even though he's very well known in the Midwest, doesn't travel nearly as much, and maybe not someone you would expect them to bet on versus taking Monte within a stock benefit here against Wrath, but Ploopy showing you exactly why that confidence is warranted, right? Even with Monte as the backup, basically 1v1 that stock from Wrath himself.
I think something monumental just happened. I think we saw homing attack get punished, and not just the version where he whiffs on the ground. Homing attack actually got beat by Game & Watch Key. That's how privileged this character is.
Hey man, I mean, right, like, disjoints do beat homing attack.
They do.
And
it's hard to get that timing, though, most of the time, and it was really well done by Ploopy.
he's locked in. He's locked in. That controller, listen, it might not be his, but it might as well be after this one.
Yeah, he's going to be keeping it forever.
I was going to say, he might be walking up to whoever lent it him and saying, hey, how much for it? How much for it? I think I need this one in my back pocket because...
Yeah, I'll give you this $300 one. Let me take your little $60 Pro controller.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But game number 2, no changes from either team. And despite game 1 going Ploopy and Monte's way, Wrath and MuteAce still have a chance to answer back here and going right back to PS2 as well.
Yeah, and so far it's going to be Game & Watch holding center. Palutena sent off stage, but nothing yet. We're just seeing some damage built up.
And hey, that's the thing that changed, right? No stage pick, but where's Peach?
Oh, yeah.
It is Palutena for MuteAce, right? Yep. That secondary, just able to do so much work. And I understand it, right? You just didn't feel like you were able, your float did enough for you. Palutena's got invulnerable dash attack, as we just saw, plus the back air and neutral air is an active hitbox, plus some disjoints, some huge hitboxes that just can make life hard for Game & Watch.
Yeah, MuteAce, this Palu is not, this is not the first we've seen of this Palu. I feel like every Peach has one in their pocket as just sort of an easier, simpler choice sometimes when all you need, is a hammer instead of, like, what would you call Peach? Like a power drill?
I was going to say a series of sickles that you use and scalpels and tools. She's the whole surgical kit, really.
Yes, and you need to be an expert at every single one of them. Versus Palu, where sometimes you can just nair. Not always. I mean, the character is very good, but look at that. Up air just killing. It just does that, especially on a stage with a low ceiling like here.
Yeah, the active multi-hit, right, with just that does just kill is so incredibly good. One of the best juggle tools in the game, and something you need against a character with as flexible vertical descent capabilities as Game & Watch. And we're seeing that pick already pay dividends, right? Monte just getting trapped at the corner here, but able to kind of scramble his way back. But not a stock has been taken from the red team yet. Double Game & Watch needs to find some kill power and fast, because right now they just can't catch the red team.
Yeah, nice parry into the F tilt there, and both stocks going to get taken in really quick succession. And we're back to, I mean, I'd call this an even game.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's about as caster cursed as you could possibly get, right? Yeah. Hey, they haven't been able to catch them. Catches them both immediately, but right now, the only person getting caught are MuteAce's landings. Ploopy and Monte have been so good at juggling, right? We saw it in Winter Semis. We're seeing it here again. And yes, that's one of Game & Watch's strengths. But as players, too, they're doing just an immaculate job of it against two characters with very flexible descents.
Yeah, we had a great situation there where both Monte and Ploopy were dash shielding over and over again across the stage, encroaching. I heard the Jaws music in my head. Game & Watch coming at you like that with another one right behind him. That back air, though, not quite going to do the job.
He buffered the bucket. It hit max charge and then went away just like that. Ploopy going to expend a very valuable resource, but at 143, it doesn't matter that much, right? You're just like, okay, we'll send INR, see you later. At least I'm holding on. And finally, 170% for one of the lightest characters in the game. Monte is going to die. Ploopy in turn, but they stretch those stocks to the nines, my friend.
Yep, and I don't know if the bucket got a couple Game & Watch forward airs in there or anything, but if it was just from that Palu side B, it's going to be a very weak bucket anyway. Like, it won't kill to like 180 or something like that. So not the hugest threat, but still something you got to look out for every now and then.
Yeah, and that might have been the reason why, right? Just feeling that reflector even better than anything else you can offer. The falling neutral air combo and the up smash is just absolutely terrifying. You thought you could delay A above Game & Watch? No, his teammate will drag you down, and now the smash attacks in turn. Oh no, this one is starting to fall apart. The lead is now gone, and if MuteAce loses the stock first, I mean, we might just be seeing Ploopy and Monte cement this game, and they're starting to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, proving the double Game & Watch is just a deadly combo here. They really have to get these stocks off ASAP, but they've been just struggling all game long. Palu back here have been the only thing that's really doing work in that department, and we're seeing it again. And we're down to even stocks, but this is almost, I would say, Palu and Sonic favor.
And I absolutely agree, right? We've seen Ploopy go for these back airs, jump out from under platform, or go for those keys off stage, and they've started to punish him consistently for it, right? Those little overextensions. And it took what could have been a compounding lead that we saw last game, right, result in a victory. Instead, now, right, go right back to even, and even at a disadvantage for them, because Monte at 140% has to get off the stage and gonna take the weak hit of back air from Sonic and barely survive, but anything can kill him at this point. He needs to find a way back, and it's gonna be his teammate barely giving him a chance to.
Yeah, and Wrath so patient there. He saw the down smash, thought maybe he could punish it, and decided to just back off, canceled the side B, and wow, so many big hits, and just none of them are quite enough.
Yeah, and beautiful job from Wrath there, pushing Ploopy away, right? Dislodging that dash attack with spacing where they can help each other out, and forcing something aggressive. If MuteAce gonna do so with the downer, that one's gonna close the game out through the invulnerability of the up smash, and now it's up to Ploopy. We saw the bet on him before, and he needs to capitalize on it here. 75 and 91 is not undoable, but when you burn your air dodge early, you have to get tricky to find a way back.
Yeah, using the bucket to get a little extra drift and stall, gonna make it back without having to air dodge, and just sort of stuck in the corner here. So much patience shown from Sonic and Wrath here. Or sorry, MuteAce and Wrath here, trying to find their moment, and eventually it does come in the form of a Sonic F tilt.
And I don't know if you saw Ploopy's option there when he got scared time and time again. He would get on stage, his option to get out of the corner, roll in,
yep.
roll in, roll in. Wrath caught on and punished him the last 3 times he attempted it in a row. No change from Ploopy, and that one's going to cost him the game. Not only does he have to limit some of those overextensions, right, but he's going to have to catch on to his own roll habit and make that adjustment, because players like MuteAce, players like Wrath are never going to give you a chance to find the set if you can't clean up those bad habits.
Yeah, and normally you might think, oh, it's a 2v1. You know, he was just kind of on autopilot, like, oh, maybe I'll find the hit, maybe I won't. Let's go next, head in the next game. But we saw that comeback happen last set. So we know it, or earlier. So we know it's possible for these double Game & Watches to make those comebacks.
Yeah, no, and they just need to find a way again, right, to keep that disciplined gameplay that we've seen get them to this point so far, or keep them moving forward. At 1-1, counter pick advantage here on Battlefield might potentially matter, right, because this is the first stage change we've really seen so far. And what do you think of the triplat presence here, especially with Palutena and Sonic?
I mean, it's one of Game & Watch's best stages for sure. It sets up a lot of juggle situations. You can extend your combo onto both platforms, the side plat and the middle plat, which is a really big deal. But Palu loves this stage. Palu really loves this stage. So I think it's hard in doubles, you know? In doubles, you're always going to be playing into your opponent's strengths in some way. So you just got to try to find your position in the calculus of it all, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they've just been doing an absolutely great job so far. Are at maximizing on the strengths. Nobody able to find the stock yet. And Sonic in turn, right, able to use those platforms to get down, to use spin dash mix up and fight juggles of his own. I think all these characters love the stage, and we're seeing it so far, right? Because while we've seen defense, measured gameplay in the first couple of games, this one's been a slobber knocker as Monte's going to lose the first stock. And while he's been the one to stock tank so far, it's not going to be an early on factor here.
Yeah, unfortunate interaction there. Going to be ending in the stock loss for MuteAce, but 142% on one of the lightest characters in the game. How does Ploopy do it?
I mean, listen, right? Like, these Game & Watch players have been doing such a good job at stock tanking one way or another, but right now it's just a matter of fighting off, utilizing these disjoints and saying, hey, if I hold you at that max distance, if my opponent's got you occupied, I don't have to worry about getting punished. I just pick the safe option, rinse, repeat, and say, yeah, you're going to force this 2v1 and try to compound the stock deficit for my teammate rather than swing at me. That time, Wrath makes Ploopy's guess on that wrong, and now they're going to lose the stock. This one starting to snowball in Wrath and MuteAce's favor.
Yeah, we were talking about excellence in stock taking, and Wrath, you know, we saw him with the 3 stock earlier. He is so good at not getting hit when he wants to. And now he's finding space to go for these side Bs, these down Bs. And he is just not getting hit by anything big, and almost not getting hit by anything at all, to be honest.
No, I mean, he's just absolutely locking in the spin dash. The pressure now coming out as the back air in turn, but not too much more. Or MuteAce gonna lose the stock, but that incredible stall from Wrath to survive using that top plat. And so he's still at 3 stocks to Mute's 1. Right, as we talked about before, that ability to focus MuteAce could be the difference maker. Taking that stock now could swing it away. Instead, it's gonna be Wrath losing his first one. And even still, if the Game & Watch team can take this one from MuteAce, they still might be in the driver's seat.
Oh man, MuteAce with a great wait, but doesn't find the back air, and then the up B gonna stage spike him, and with no jump, that stock's gonna be going really early, and that is an insane swing here in this Game 3.
We were talking about how, like, hey, if they can take it, maybe they'll be in the lead. We didn't expect it to be taken right then at 20%, my friend. And now, as you mentioned, and that swing right back into the Game & Watch's favor, but just like that, it's an even game again. Last stocks all around. One more chance to lock in that counter pick for each of y'all, and it's going to be the Game & Watchers here who I think have a slight advantage, just because, in general, the defensive play that you look more towards last stock kind of favors Game & Watch's playstyle more.
Yep, going for the team combo there on the edge with the Palu up air, not quite going to connect, and game goes on. Down smash connecting, the up smash not quite going to do it, and the edge guard not quite going to happen on the left side.
I appreciate that they kind of did synchronize down smash and now trying to find something more. I like running up with the shield there because not only do you block the down smash from hitting you, but you put your own Game & Watch in hit lag, which extends that active hitbox, right, with the hitbox extension like you would see from, say, a Steve crafting table.
Yeah, how does Palu come back here? I was about to say maybe she could use Judge. You know, maybe she gets a 9. That might work, but unfortunately, that's not in the cards. And
Can you
she's
imagine?
just going to get hit by that double ledge trap with the fairs. I just think that bomb is so crazy in doubles.
Listen, just give Palutine a Judge. Just make it her side taunt, guys. She needs it.
Yeah, everyone says she needs that X factor, right?
Neutral air 9. Neutral air 9.
Oh, yeah. I think that sounds very fair.
Fair and balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, they took away her DK length grab, so they should give her something else in return.
Hey, I mean, now it's only mostly DK length.
Yeah,
it's like, what, 2/3 of the size it was?
It's still so good.
It's so good.
I hate when Palu's
that patch was
about it.
Holy moly, that patch was, what, 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
It
was like, that was like 3.1, right? That they nerfed Palu's grab? That was like pretty early on.
Yeah, that was a long
that was
time
like
ago.
That was like a year and a half into the game's lifespan. The year's 2024, my friend.
Yeah, you're making
this game's been out a while.
You're not only making me feel old, you're making me realize how old this game is at this point. The fact that we can have a major of this size in the Carolinas this late into Ultimate's lifespan,
this game's
like,
special.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think that we might be due for a new one on the horizon. I don't know if you've been seeing the rumblings.
Hey, I mean, listen. Nothing's been confirmed. We technically don't even know what the next console is going to be, just that it's coming this fiscal year, right? So sometime before March 2025, we will know what the next console is called and potentially maybe, you know, what some of the launch titles are. Hey, it's been 6 years. It's very possible that it could be Super Smash Bros. But right now, the only launching we're going to be considering is how far these moves launch as we get into a potential final game here in Winners Finals here on Hollow Bastion.
I think they both bucketed at the start of the game. They both were expecting the Palu side B at the same time. But yeah, it's going to be the double ledge trap here, keeping the Game & Watches on the side of the stage, but they are slowly encroaching on the space of Sonic and Palu. They're holding backwards, and the Game & Watches are the ones holding forward in this matchup.
Yeah, just doing a great job controlling space, right? That center plat for Palu and Sonic can be so good, right? We saw Wrath and MuteAce get much mileage off this counter pick earlier on, but Game & Watch too, right? If you can control that center plat, because of those active hitboxes, because of his ease of juggling, it can be really hard to dislodge them from stage control. And so far, it's felt like they've been the ones in the driver's seat taking the first stock there and trying to maybe find a second one on MuteAce as well.
Oh, just chaos. Like I said, the ball of dust from the old Looney Tunes cartoons. Everyone hitting everyone. It's hard to track at this point. You got to really put it on these players. I mean, so much credit to them for keeping track of everything that's going on and doing a wonderful job of delivering.
And Monte there, finding the edge guard coming off the Angel Plat and saying, oh, you reset my stage positioning? Cool, I'm going to switch up. I'm going to go after MuteAce, and I'm going to lock this one down. 4 stocks have been taken, 1 player apiece. This game is about as even as it gets. As Mute and Wrath need to find some advantage, but so far they just haven't been able to compound anything.
Yeah, and there's some shooters waiting in losers, so this is a really big deal to see who can ride that grand final spot. I think it ups your chances of winning the tournament by like a huge factor if you can sit on that winner's side.
Great spin jump there from Wrath, just keeping the flexibility open here out of that disadvantage route high. Finds a way back down, but not away. However, Ploopy and Monte deciding the 2v1 on Palu is the way to go, means that he's going to get back down for free, able to get them both in the corner, and now off stage, the team spike is going to be disastrous, as now the huge swing goes in favor of Wrath and MuteAce.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolutely massive interaction. You know, sometimes it happens. You can't get mad because it's doubles. Again, it's chaos. Things happen unintentionally, and you just got to shake that one off and keep your composure.
Finds that first hit, but not the second one, so Ploopy not able to steal the stock with that forward air there on Rav at 82. Instead, he's going to have to try and find a way out of the corner. I like the reset to the ground, try to just get that counter hit on the juggle off the aggressive chase we've seen from Rav so far. Not able to get too much more, nor help his teammate out of dodge. So Monte going to have to take the delayed route, but instead deal with the mute ledge trap. Instead, the switch up is going to come to just help out Wrath off Ploopy, and this teamwork, this back and forth, the ebb and flow from Wrath and MuteAce is what is going to propel them, what looks like right now, to a Game 5.
Yeah, again, we're seeing it again from Ploopy, though. He's holding on to this stock for absolutely dear life. 143, really impressive on a light character, but you can only do so much.
Yep, and hold on, Monte, the 1v2 is here. And remember, Game & Watch has that clutch factor. He has the RNG. We saw it once before. We could see it again. All it takes is a random hammer to come on out, and this could be a 1v1. Once that happens, I mean, Monte's in comfort zone.
Yeah, Game & Watch with so many ways to swing the tides. But our Wrath and MuteAce doing a great job of covering each other here. They're not allowing for any crazy gaps. They're just playing it safe, waiting for their moments. They are perfectly content to take another minute and a half just whittling down at this Game & Watch stocks. And wow, going for it. You know what, that one wasn't the 9, so it's a good thing it didn't hit, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, even still, that 6 does propel at a great angle to an edge guard situation. You get the 1v1 and the reset. There it was, the flash. You saw the 9,
yeah.
But unfortunately not quite the spacing to find its mark, especially with that active Palu up smash in the way. And yeah, it was there. The gods, he thought rang in his favor, but instead, MuteAce says, hey man, you said it was better to be lucky than good. I'm just good.
Yeah, and I got a giant laser beam for you with your name on it. And you don't have to roll the dice on that one. That one's powerful all the time.
Listen, whether they come from the heavens or they come from the ground, the giant laser beam, man, it does just always reign supreme.
Yeah, that's such a cool design for a character. It's like, what if we gave an angel lasers? Sakurai kind of spitting with that
I
one.
mean, yeah, right? Like, let's just say, like, not even in just Smash, but in Kid Icarus in general, one of the coolest games out there. Can we get a third Kid Icarus game, please?
I'm sure all the Palu mains out there would love that. Maybe they update her moveset. And again, give her a little more kill power. Actually, that's what I always see Palu mains talking about.
Listen, hey, if you remember the Wii U days, then you'll remember Palu's custom moves that took her from one of the worst characters in Smash 4 to one of the very best.
Really?
And some of her alternate options you should be very thankful we don't have, because think about if she had Acceleratl, because that was a thing that she had. Yeah.
I can't believe y'all play with custom moves. I missed the Smash 4 era. I didn't play it, but custom moves on, that's such a crazy idea for a rule set.
Hey, it didn't last long for a reason, my friend.
Yeah,
though they tried, and right now it's just going to be both teams trying to take this Game 5.
Yeah. You know, we're seeing a bit of a resurgence of the goofy rule sets lately. All H-Boxes Smash meter on tournaments. What do you think? Do you think that's the future?
I don't know if it's the future, but it's certainly peak content, that's for sure.
Yes, 100%. All right, and it turns out Game & Watch Bacon at ledge is just as hard to get through in doubles as in singles. And on the left side, we're seeing an opposite of that.
I was going to say, what an edge guard attempt from Monte, and what a route back from Wrath. Just expending all of his resources to a T, holding that air dodge to the nth degree and finding a way back. Now able to just maybe help MuteAce get away, and he can just from positioning alone. Doesn't even have to commit, and that means now he can do it again. The double up smash is going to let Palu come back one more time, and now just the scramble, but it's going to be Wrath put off stage.
Wrath very lucky there not to get buried. It doesn't unfortunately get anything out of it. Gets killed on the next hit. But sometimes you just, you know, the RNG goes against Game & Watch and you get sent out instead of buried by that down smash. You can count your lucky stars. One thing I'm noticing a lot from Wrath that's really nice to see is he is so good at picking his battles. He'll hit a move and be like, can I get a follow-up? No, and he'll just spring out of there. He'll be like, okay, well, I'm just not messing with it anymore. He's only taking the sure things whenever possible.
Yeah, it's literally just a, hey, okay, I'm going to reset. I'm going to play this safe because I'm down a stock right now. I want to maintain this percent because, remember, if I lose this game, I don't go to Grands, I go to losers finals, and that can be a terrifying place to be with the tournament on the line for you. So right now, it's going to be a story of who can take the stock first. Is it going to be MuteAce going down one, or is it going to be Monte? Because whatever team can keep those 3 stocks at 2 is going to be able to compound such an advantage and potentially steal this game away off that alone.
Yeah, nice job by MuteAce getting Wrath out of a tough situation on ledge, and we're resetting to neutral. And the stock tanking from MuteAce is now the star of the show.
Yeah, great positioning there from Wrath, just shielding there at the edge of platform, saying, hey, Ploopy, you don't get to drift around with Key like you're used to, because if you do, you're going to hit my shield. Paolo can punish you right for it. However, Paolo not going to be able to get off the ledge. That 2v1 ledge trap is going to go in their favor, and it's going to be the Game & Watch team compounding that lead. Hugest for them of anyone, because of Monte's percent was, well, the lowest of either 3 stock player.
The tech chase with the bomb not quite hitting, and a jump counter, I think, might have been a misinput from MuteAce. I don't think that deals with the up air very well, but doesn't, fortunately for him, get punished for it. And 112, can Monte make it back to center stage?
I mean, it's certainly possible, my friend. And Paolo does have that reflector built into the counter as well, which might be one more factor to keep track of in the waning moments. We haven't seen it very much so far in Game & Watch. Has got a couple projectiles to keep on cooking, but right now the only thing they're going to be cooking is a way back to stage, going to do so and find the reversal, but it's going to be Wrath pressuring it in turn, and Monte now needs to find a way to survive.
It's going to be, again, Sonic and Paolo finding most of the hits here in this past 30 seconds. But again, nothing that kills. That up smash just going to armor through basically everything, the whole kitchen sink thrown at him, and take that stock fairly early.
It looked like 2 invulnerable moves clanked, and then just the more active one ended up winning when all was said and done. However, 2 stocks going to be taken on one for your teammate and one for the opponent here. Wrath and MuteAce down in last stock, but Monte's still holding on to a full 3, right? He hadn't been able to stock tank since the early days of this set, but now when it matters most, I mean, he's doing it better than he ever has.
Yeah, they're in that free-for-all situation where you look over and you go, this guy's got 3 stocks, and everyone just dogpiles him. I don't know if Wrath and MuteAce can make this deficit. Like, this is an amazing lead here for our double Game & Watch team.
Yeah, it's going to be hey, how do we find a stock on one of these, force the 2v1 on here, potentially on Ploopy, right? Force that last stock and find some chip damage in turn, but Mute needs to desperately find a way back down, which is going to force Wrath into that overextensive position because of Spring. Even still, it's not quite enough to let Mute back to stage, but Wrath pressuring under platform is with the platform to boot. Even still, there is no margin for error, and that bomb nearly very cost MuteAce the game.
Yeah, the percentage is climbing. We're in double red percent here with a whole extra stock on Monte. You got to see something huge here, maybe a big team combo. I mean, you got to focus Ploopy maybe at this point, try to get that stock off the board as fast as possible, but instead, it's going to be Wrath who's going to be eating a bomb, and now it's looking amazing for Ploopy and Monte to move on into Winterside Grand Finals.
Hey, listen, we just saw Ploopy input 5 up smashes in a row, and you know, as much as people say Game & Watch takes skill, it does take a lot of skill to throw out that many smash attacks at one time with no fear of repercussion. The rinse repeat here of that 2v1 ledge trap you were talking about, so incredibly scary, but Mute with the mix to find a way back, trying to beat them into something, and we've seen comebacks like this happen before. But to do so, you have to take the stock from Ploopy, because Monte at 74, or if he loses the stock first, you don't care. Taking it off Ploopy means you force the 2v1, get more on Monte, and potentially can force it, but unfortunately, the counter not going to be able to reflect back, and that's going to be all she wrote.
Yeah, I don't know if MuteAce gave up there or just ran out of jumps in a bad situation, but this is what I'm talking about. It's like, what do you do?
There it was.
So
the jump went out there, and yeah, he tried to jump counter, but the jump got hit by that chef. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? It's raining bacon, and then you got another Game & Watch who can just spam down smash in that roll position.
Well, what you do, my friend, is you say sayonara, and I believe that was the last set for us. So they say sayonara, we will as well. But before we do, you know, the Carolinas aren't just a region on their own, right? They've got Georgia down below that supports them a lot, and they've also got the MDVA region up top that supports them quite a lot as well. And speaking of support, you should check out MDVA's next tournament regional series, Cavalier Clash 5, coming up on September 21st. It's the largest regional in Central Virginia. There's a $500 pop bonus right now, but it grows every time they hit certain attendee thresholds. You can sign up today at start.gg/cavclash, and, well, after this block ends, my friend, there might even be some video trailer goodness to keep us excited.
Excellent. Yeah, Virginia, there's a lot of crossover between North Carolina and Virginia. Obviously, we share that border. I've been out to a couple stick drifts and stuff. That's an excellent scene up there. I love basically all the TOs in that area. So go support them. You know,